Hey there, everyone. It's Fiona here from TYHub Let's Talk podcast. Today we are joined by the lovely Jessica Jeffery, a TEFL or TEFL expert. Welcome to TYHub, Jessica. What can you explain what TEFL is, really, really quickly, and then why you do what you do?
Yeah, great first question. I get that question every day still. So TEFL essentially stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. So it would have originated from going abroad, going overseas, and bringing the English language into the country. For them, as a learner, it's their foreign language for them. So that's kind of the bones of it, really, but it's really expanded over the past years into not just teaching overseas now, but teaching online as well and running your own business. And it's really branched out since then. But essentially, that is what the certification is for: is you're becoming a qualified English language teacher.
And is it recognized then all over the world? You're kind of like the world is your oyster.
Mm.
I think I've mentioned a friend of mine did this years ago. She went
Yeah.
traveling, and she was teaching English. Oh God, I can't even remember how many countries, but she ended up teaching English as her like travel career as she was moving
Yeah.
along. It helped her bring an income in and stay that bit longer, but also learn a little bit more about like the native town, the locality, how different cultures work and stuff like that. So it broadened her horizons. But sure, she came
Mm.
home and became a primary school teacher then afterwards as well.
Oh,
So
oh, okay, yeah.
led on to a secondary
Um, Yeah,
career.
absolutely. No, absolutely. So it is recognized worldwide, particularly our qualification, our kind of long-standing name as well in the business. Um, so you can literally teach anywhere in the world with the certification. So it really is, your passport to the world, which is why I'm so passionate about young people doing the certification to have that in their back pocket for their future, even if it be for a small while or a long-term career, as you said there, if someone wants to go backpacking,
Hmm.
across the world is really their oyster with this certification.
And what inspired you to choose this as a career path yourself?
Yeah, it's a long story, but I'll try and keep it short. I actually primarily studied business. Probably by default, naturally, a lot of people, if they're not sure what they want to do, might go into business. But I guess once I had graduated college and had started working in that area, I really felt something was missing, and I never had a gap year. I didn't do a J1, anything like that. So I had that kind of travel bug in me. But I didn't have the money. I didn't have the savings. So
Uh,
I said,
Always.
okay, how can I make this happen? So I came across TEFL, so TEFL opportunities, TEFL programs, where they train you, certify you in TEFL, and then they also get a placement for you abroad. So I decided to go to Thailand. So I packed up everything, left my job, a really good job. It was a big risk, but it definitely paid off. And I spent nearly 6 months living in Thailand, teaching, I guess, the equivalent of primary school level uh, girls in a primary school. And it was just absolutely eye-opening. Like you said, your friend there who came back and said to primary school, I'm not surprised because people just absolutely fall in love with this profession, which I never had on the books for myself. I absolutely still love business to a degree, but to work with people like that it was just so fulfilling and so exciting. And then to be able to go on your weekends exploring Thailand was just absolutely brilliant. So I kind of done that short stint, which a lot of people do, and they may, put the TEFL cert away and move on to something else. But when I came back to Ireland, I still kind of had that itch, and I really, really missed it. So I actually decided then, okay, I want to go abroad, but I don't want to go as far as Asia again. So maybe somewhere a bit closer. So I went to Italy then. So I was teaching there for two
Good.
years. Um, I was teaching adults this time, which I equally loved as well. It was brilliant. Timing wasn't great on my part because that's when the COVID pandemic started in the heart of Italy as well, of all places. But it really is just a testimony to that it really got me through a difficult time as well because I was still employed. I was teaching English online instead of in the classroom.
Mhm.
And I absolutely loved it, you know, chatting to people all day long. It kept me sane during those crazy times. And it was still a fantastic experience there in Italy. And then I came back home, you know, ready to settle down as such. But I still just absolutely love working in the TEFL industry. So I started working for TEFL.ie as a, you know, recruitment support. So helping other learners and students of ours, you know, take that next step and find a job abroad. So I'm helping others follow that career. And then also managing our TY program. So getting under 18s qualified in this TEFL cert as well, which has been growing at a fast rate, which is really exciting to see. There's really a demand there to get that certification before they even finish up in school. So I'm very passionate about making this work because I wish I had this TEFL cert in TY as well.
So students can do it while they're in school, can they? And like, what exactly do they need to do so? So, how long does it take? And what kind of like strengths and do they need a foreign language?
Mm.
Or
Yeah.
or what level of English should they have then when
Mm.
they're in school? Like, what exactly do you
Mm.
need to do a TEFL?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there that you need to have maybe those second languages. So if you were going to Spain to teach English, you'd need to be fluent in Spanish. But that actually goes against the methodology of TEFL. So the idea of TEFL is that you are trying to teach the language through ideally full immersion, so that you are only English is used in the classroom. If they're at a very low level, you're using hand gestures, you're using flashcards, visuals, games, activities, all of that. Um, so no, you don't need a second language in terms of your own English ability. It is typically required to have, you know, upper intermediate level of English. But equally, we've had a lot of successful non-native English speakers take this certification and get a job abroad as well, or teaching online. Um, but in terms of prerequisites, like, it's minimal. And I think that's what really surprises people is that you can actually have, you know, a long spanning career in TEFL. You don't need a bachelor's degree to start teaching English. Um, or other qualifications as such. Just a really strong enthusiasm for working with people, maybe children as well, young learners. Really good energy as well. It's so, so important to have in the classroom or even online as well. But to have, you need a minimum of 120 hours of TEFL training, which we provide through this course. But typically it can get done, you know, we'll say the bones of a month or two. So it's really, really fast qualification to get for something that could be a long-term career, you know, and opening up opportunities overseas as well.
It's such an amazing thing to have. Like I said, not even native English speakers can pick this up and help teach. But the
Mhm.
literally the world is your oyster.
Yeah.
And it opens so many different doors as well. What does a typical day look like for somebody
Mm.
teaching English abroad? So I suppose we can dive into your typical day. COVID aside, what did your day look like?
It's actually very varied depending on what pathway you've taken. So, you know, if you're looking at the classroom setting, there's so many options depending again on which countries you're teaching in as well. But for instance, if you are going overseas to as far as Asia, there definitely is, you're given a lot more responsibility. So if we'll say primary school is something that you want to teaching want to explore, it's fantastic because they do give you a lot more responsibility than maybe here in Ireland. It's
Mhm.
quite restricted and a lot of hoops to go through. But yeah, your typical school day. So we'll say maybe kind of 8:30 to 3 or 4 o'clock, running your classes, doing a bit of lesson planning in between. And then if you're, overseas, the best part then is, of course, after work as well, meeting all the expats in your area, making new friends, going on new adventures at the weekends. When I was in Thailand, it was incredible. Like I could go to Bangkok at the weekend. I, took a short holiday to Koh Samui, island hopping, everything like that in between teaching. It was, especially with the salary as well, which is a question I get a lot as well. It is a lot of time to scale in the cost of living in the country, but
Mhm.
even quite higher than the average teacher that, native teacher that would be working there, higher because of the demands they have for English teachers to come into the country. They have really, really competitive packages. So, the ability to, go out for dinner every night is very feasible and very doable, and to have those adventures. So, quite different from here in Ireland, I do think. The lifestyle, it's absolutely amazing. And then on the other side of it, if you are wanting to work from home or teach online, that's also an option,
Mhm.
which is really a flexible option as well, because you can actually schedule a lot of your lessons on your own timeline. So if you prefer to work in the mornings, you can do that. If you prefer the evenings, so let's say you're a mom of four, and you want to earn that bit of extra money, you can squeeze in those lessons during the day as well online, and still bring in a bit of income, which you can all do by just getting your TEFL cert. So there is that option to work from home, gain remote work as well through TEFL, which is absolutely booming, as you can imagine,
Mhm.
particularly since COVID. It just absolutely skyrocketed because a lot of English learners saw the potential of, keeping up their English in between their own jobs and their own
Mhm.
lives, to be able to log on and get those English lessons when they want. It's a huge demand at the moment. And I think, you know, to be honest, it did have an effect on the travel industry across the board. If you're to kind of lump us under that as well, people were very hesitant to go abroad after COVID. That's coming back now, of course. But teaching online became very, very popular, and people actually building their own businesses from home through this teaching
Mhm.
online as well.
You touched on it very briefly, like salary, like it's
Mm.
equal to a higher, usually a higher pay than the local teaching staff would get. What about accommodation? How does TEFL help with that? Or like is there a little community already from TEFL in whatever country you're going to?
Yeah, I think another huge pro of following a TEFL career overseas is a lot of the time, and as well becoming part of a community. So, teachers are highly respected abroad as well, and taken care of. So a lot of the compensation packages could include, again, a really nice salary, either a rent allowance, free accommodation. They arrange it for you. You just arrive, it's there, ready to go. Or maybe you're kind of in a house share situation with other teachers. They really try to set you up locally there so you're near the school. So 9 times out of 10, a lot of employers will set that up for you, help you with your visa, everything like that. Which I think is a huge pro, versus maybe a different career where
Mhm.
you'd really have to depend on yourself to get that all set up.
Yeah.
In my experience, a lot of employers now, because again of that huge demand to get the English teachers into the country, they will offer you quite a lot.
Nice demand to have. Do they come through TEFL? Is TEFL like an intermediate then as well in the recruitment side of things, or
Yeah.
is it the course, and then you kind of go look at a dashboard and see if there's a career there
Mm.
for you?
Yeah, I mean, we, have a lot of pathways available. So, obviously from the start, you're enrolling on a course with us. But we are known for providing a huge amount of support throughout your studies and also afterwards. So after you graduate with the course, and helping you get set up with the job. So even for the TYs as well, we have a lot of materials available there for them to help them structure a CV for a teaching job. What are the interviews like for these kind of jobs abroad or online. There's a lot kind of to it, to the recruitment process. So you might be doing demonstration lessons as well, sending those to employers. It's a different type of industry to get into, but we offer a huge amount of support as well for our students. Even online job coaching. We have our own jobs boards where they can find all these listings abroad. We also run internship programs, which I did myself in Thailand. So if you kind of want a bit of help getting all set up, or going more, it's more like a group travel experience, so
Mhm.
you're not going solo. So there's a huge amount of pathways you can take. But with TEFL.ie, we provide all of that help from start to finish. Once you're enrolled, you're in our alumni forever. So even if you're doing this through TY, or you're signing up at 16, we'll say, you're still going to be part of our alumni for the rest of your life, essentially. And we have a huge amount of resources. We even run webinars, everything like that. We have a lot of guides as well to supply for lesson planning or help you on your job hunt as well. So when you're with us forever, essentially.
And for how does your program look for, or how does it look? Sorry, what? That my English but totally went out the door there. What does
I'm not
the
just saying, don't worry.
what does the TY program look like? So how would a school get
Yeah,
involved, or can
yeah,
individuals get involved? It doesn't have does it have
yeah,
to be?
yeah. So primarily, at the start when we kind of launched this, initially it was a side project, so we primarily would provide this course to adults, but we did see, a demand there for younger people to take up this TEFL cert.
Mm,
A lot of schools were getting in touch looking to do it as a elective module, so that their class groups, their TYs, could choose to do this during their transition year. But since we partnered with Gashka a year ago, there's been a huge demand as well to do this as kind of a standalone project. We've had parents in touch looking to sign up their kids as well. So there's actually, it's very, very flexible. It's a self-paced course. So, if the school decide to as an elective module, they might kind of put that structure in place or allocate some time every
mhm.
week, which is very doable as well. But we also have a mobile app. So we're the only TEFL provider with a mobile app. So teenagers can do this from their phone as well, on their tablet, as they go. Um, so there's also an option to do this individually. So if they want to earn a personal skill with
Mhm.
Gashka, so they want to get their bronze or their silver award, we've had a lot of people do it as well. So there's kind of a couple of options there, really. It is open to any enrollments at all, but what has been really growing is a lot of schools, nearly 50 now across Ireland, have been taking it on regularly every year as a elective module for their TYs. And it's been fantastic. We've been getting photos of them with their TEFL certs, holding it up and everything like that. And the interest just seems to grow and grow every year. So, and again, it's something I'm very, very passionate about getting the word out there. And even if they don't end up using their TEFL cert immediately after school, it might be something in the future they, they want to do maybe a bit of work abroad for a couple of months, or
Yeah,
as I said, you have maybe kids at home and you want to kind of teach online in between, earn a bit of money. It's always there. So the TEFL certificate does not expire, so they will have it for
okay.
life, even if they're doing it from, 16, 17. they will have it in their back pocket forever.
So say a student has done it in TY and they've now gone into 6th year. They're probably they've done their leaving cert, they're gone into college, or they're taking a year gap at the start of college, or they're in college and they're taking a gap year. Is there a refresher course, or can they, like, what way? I can imagine that some of what you learn is unlearned over a period of time as well. So it just for those that would be keen on it, like, not to lose it then afterwards, can
Mm,
they? It seems they're part of the alumni for life,
mm, mm.
and
Yeah,
no
yeah.
expiration on
Um,
the cert. So
Yeah, I mean, we do have some people retake the course, but what I would recommend from my own experience of teaching is the nature of it anyway, of TEFL, is that it's constantly changing. So new methodologies of teaching are created, invented. Technology comes into the game as well, having to keep up with that,
mm,
those mediums in the classroom as well. AI is taking over now again, so that's a huge shift. So I wouldn't look at it as maybe kind of redoing or refreshing, but I would look at it more from a point of upskilling,
yeah,
which we are specialists in as well. So we
okay,
have a lot of specialist courses going into different niches of teaching. So let's say you have your TEFL cert, but you're looking at doing a couple of months teaching kindergarten abroad or something like that. We have a specialist course for teaching young learners. So what kind of games, what kind of lesson planning you need to do to target those specific learners, as opposed to just going back to the drawing board again.
yeah.
We actually have a lot of upskilling courses, and as I said, the webinars too. So that would be under the category of upskilling. So we kind of keep you up to date on what are the trends in teaching, particularly, AI now is a huge thing. We
Mm,
actually have an add-on module that we recently added to the TY course, which is optional. It's not required to get your certification, but it's just a short module showing you how to use, your chat GPT, all your AI tools, how to leverage it to make lesson plans for you, to get materials, to kind of target the right students in the classroom or online. So we're kind of trying to keep up with the times as well, because we are aware that exactly, like, you mightn't have done it 3 years ago and you need that kind of refresher. But
mm.
that would be my advice, instead of retaking it, is that you kind of lean on us and our resources to keep you upskilling, really. And even we have so many guides available to kind of refresh you on how to plan a lesson. um, but my advice always is just get into the classroom. A lot of it can be learning on the job as well, getting stuck in. But as I said, we're always here at the end of the phone as well,
Mhm.
during your TEFL career for any advice.
So when you went abroad on your first trip, what was the biggest surprise, or something that you didn't expect, when you went over? So in the career part of it.
Yeah, that's a great question. I was thinking
Sorry, I
kind of
know
the
that
culture
wasn't in
shock
my list
first.
of questions that I sent
No, I
over.
love it. I love it. No one's asked me that before. Um, I was thinking when you were saying the question, the culture shock first, because that's definitely one thing. Um, I think it takes a bit of getting used to. Um, but I sort of thrive on that as well. So, to be able to go to different countries and explore those different cultures, and
Mm,
as I was saying before, if you're going to the likes of Asia, and that they do give you a lot of responsibility, in primary schools and that, which wouldn't be the same here. That definitely was a bit of a surprise to me, that I was, the classroom leader, and, I hadn't taught before, and, you know, um, but I think it was, a lot of experience jam packed in such a short amount of time. um your people skills are put to the test, and I think in this day and age, when the world is just so globalized now, you need those kind of skills. You can't be
mm,
afraid of that. You really have to get stuck in. And um I think career wise, I was probably the most surprised by the people skills that I had learned, to be able to get up in front of a classroom, if it's 30 young girls, if it was a group of adults who are twice my age, telling them what to do. It was, it's a very different dynamic. But an amazing skill that I learned. Particularly, I think as well, a big thing for a lot of people can be public speaking. So,
Mhm.
everyone's number one fear probably. It really does kind of, you're able to face that fear, and make the most of it, which I think has been a fantastic skill for me to learn as well. And I think that's probably so useful in the future, to be able to do that in any job, and to be able to manage people, is a huge thing. So I would say that's probably number one, and why I think everybody should at least do a couple of weeks of teaching, because it's just such an invaluable skill to learn.
Did it make you want to choose the teaching when you came home then, like my friend, or because you mentioned you did business, and so it was a totally different career path that you were heading towards, and then you did the TEFL and went to Thailand, and did your
Mm,
trajectory change then,
yeah.
or?
Yes, yeah. That was definitely weighing on my mind. But I was a bit caught with the Irish. I don't know if people have the similar obstacle there. Didn't too do too well with Irish in secondary school, so that limited my options in terms of primary school teaching. Which, look, that's a lesson learned. But I actually think the more I sort of thought about it, what I was really passionate about was getting other people into this world and learning about it, spreading the word.
Mhm.
And I'm so glad I did. I did kind of a couple of stints of teaching online as well, which is still great, and I can still do whenever I want. But to be able to kind of get other people into this career, or to travel more, not stay in one corner of the world all your life, is something I'm very passionate about, more so
Mm.
than teaching. But yeah, I certainly would have done some teaching in Cork as well, UCC campus. So, there's a lot of summer work out there as well in Ireland. You would have English learners coming into the country for a
Mm.
while, looking to learn a bit of conversational English, which is great fun as well. But no, certainly, I think, 9 times out of 10, a lot of people that will start TEFL, I think they will want to really get into teaching afterwards as well. It usually is the case.
Great. What advice would you give to someone age 15 to 19 looking at their careers ahead, but also looking at the travel and that experience? What advice would you give them now, given your experience in TEFL, and would they know if TEFL is or could be the right thing for them to do?
Yeah. Um, Again, I kind of think that I would definitely recommend everyone do it, even if it's just for a month. Give it a go, because again, the skills you learn are so invaluable. I think it definitely touches on a lot of areas, of, do you like teaching? Do you like training? Do you like maybe kind of childcare, working with young learners, that sort of area as well? Certainly touches on that a lot. But equally, there's quite a lot of niches. So, let's say you did do business like myself, you could actually teach English, business English. So you could, teach corporates how to navigate the workplace, write
Mhm.
emails, do presentations in English. There's a huge amount of niches, even aviation, even, the medical field, doctors that come into our country looking to refine their English, and
Mhm.
it's a huge demand there too. So there's actually so many different areas. I'd be surprised if it didn't touch on someone. But I think number one is you need that enthusiasm, that energy, that passion to work with people is just a
Mhm.
huge thing. And if not, if it doesn't really work out, I'd have to say the TEFL cert is great for improving English. My own English improved vastly since I had done it, and teaching as well. And as I said, that kind of public speaking. So if that's something you kind of want to work on too, even at that, like what an amazing skill to have, even if you
Mm.
don't pursue TEFL. But I would really urge everyone to give it a go, at least once in their life, and see where it takes you. Um, because I do think it's probably one of the most fulfilling careers that you can get into pretty easily,
Yeah.
if it is a matter of just doing this cert during TY. The world is your oyster, as you said.
Is there anything that they can do to prepare themselves? So you're going to be walking away with a life skill, a people skills,
Mm,
which is invaluable to whatever career path you go down.
mm,
And you can help them with their CVs on, which is again another thing that they can add to their
yeah,
CV that will make them stand out from the list of names that are going
mm,
forward for the same job.
mm,
Make them stand out. Would they be better? It would open doors for them. So an employer would be
yeah,
thinking like, we'll have some training coming up. Would this person be
yeah,
good to help us do training within the company? We have international. Most companies are international now as well. There's an international element
yes,
everywhere.
yeah,
So what other skill could they work on while they're in TY that would help them if they're not necessarily to that open, very shy? Let's say we have a student
yeah,
that's shy,
yeah, yeah.
that kind of way, but is very intrigued about wanting to work with this as an idea of, probably sitting
Mm,
there and, in the mind, the background going, how can I earn the money to go traveling? So we've covered that. We can do that with this,
yeah.
but I'm shy and I don't really
Mm,
know if I can stand in front of a classroom and do a
mm,
presentation, let alone teach them.
yeah. Yeah, wow, that's a great question. I definitely suffered from that disease of shyness growing up. If I was to look back, I certainly would have never thought I'd be standing up in front of a classroom of 30 people and telling them what to do and, all of that. I would have never dreamt it.
Mm,
I think it is about taking those kind of baby steps, certainly. Doing your theory, building that confidence around it, getting a lot of practice in as well.
mm,
Even if it's at home, even if it's you have a younger niece or nephew, or cousin, you want to teach them a bit of English, vocabulary or something like that, or help them with their homework. Kind of small things like that, just to kind of build up your confidence as well, I think would certainly help. It's yeah, it's a tough one, and
mm,
I really empathize, particularly in this kind of day and age, where everything's online, and it is harder to build that confidence. I certainly do think teaching online would help you kind of keep you warm with all that kind of thing as well. So if you're not able to teach in a classroom all the time, to kind of keep up maybe online lessons or tutoring in some form is really fantastic as well. It's hard because I guess there's not a huge amount of advice I can give about building confidence. I guess you just have to go in and pretend that you're
mm.
confident. You just gotta
Yeah.
fake it till you make it. That's what I did. And just I guess my piece of advice is, going into the classroom, is you have to remind yourself this is about the students, not about you. So it's their experience, it's not your experience. It's not, what are they thinking of me? Oh God, I did this wrong, whatever, whatever. It's the students. So how is their experiencing going for them? So that's something you need to lock into,
Okay.
and put your own nerves aside.
Mm,
And I think that would have probably helped me. But I did this all through, conquered it all through TEFL. So if you're listening to this and you're crippled by shyness like I was, I highly recommend doing TEFL, to kind of build that confidence as well. And look, give me a call. I'm always here on TEFL.ie if you need help, because
Yeah,
I've been there and done
we'll,
that.
we'll, we'll pop that up now as well. If anybody's interested and wants to reach out, Jessica, like, you're always there. You're fantastic
Yeah.
in answering all questions, and like that now today, I think I've thrown a few at you just to
No,
just
don't worry. I've had it all.
go back to now. Now I've lost my banner, so I'm just going to do another one.
Yeah, so just in terms of getting in touch, so our website is TFL.ie, which is easy to remember. There we have a page all about our transition year program as well. So feel free to visit this and check it out. It's great just to, if you're thinking about doing this course, have a read of people's success stories, their blogs, where they've been in the world, how they got on with TEFL after school, or after college, what kind of opportunities are out there, what the certificate looks like. You can have a look at this too. More information on the Gashka partnership we have as well. Equally as well, so we're on YouTube. We have loads of webinars there if you prefer to watch a video and learn about TEFL. We have a lot of resources there too. You can contact us picking up the phone, booking a call. We also have a live chat as well. We have WhatsApp. We have it all. We have social media,
You can find us
Instagram, everything at hand.
everywhere.
We're
We're
everywhere. You can't escape us.
You're now on TYHub too. So if they
And
want,
TYHub.ie now.
yeah, so we'll definitely be doing some more sharing, and we have our Ezine out as well. And there's always a fantastic little feature in there from yourselves to talk a little bit more about what TEFL is, and where to go and how to contact yourselves. You have some past stories, I think, as well. You've shared them on TEFL, and you can see the broader scope of how other people have gotten on with teaching English as a foreign language.
Yeah, it's endless. I could be here all day talking about it. So definitely worth the read instead of all these success stories there.
We'll definitely do a follow-up on this. We'll have more chats, because like that, I think it's a fascinating career choice, and even a course. Just it doesn't even have to be a lifetime career. I think this is what I've been saying for years now, especially in the last year. 60% of future careers don't even exist today. So to have this as a skill moving forward, you never know when it'll be useful. You could be traveling and working with a company in Germany, and all of a sudden they need to have some extra training done, and you go, oh wait, I've got TEFL. It's definitely a skill that's needed, and English is an international language. It's the aviation language. Not everybody wants to use it in aviation, but it is the aviation language. A lot of universities and colleges teach their courses via English as well abroad. So there's another. You said you've done it in UCC during summer holidays, like when we have our international students over, learning more English here. That's another avenue that you can do. Work experience. I'm pretty sure you could find something in work experience through TY as well.
I think there's a lot of volunteering opportunities as well.
Yeah, and then going into the summer after, TY is great. It's fantastic. It opens up the doors to so many different things. But you could get a good summer job out of it for years and years and years afterwards as well, from your work experience. And this seems to be something that they could then as well apply to have for their summer jobs as well.
Amazing experience to have, absolutely. And even if it is just that volunteering, so you're not looking to make money out of this or a career, there's a huge demand there, particularly with current circumstances, people coming into the country just wanting to learn survival English. There's a huge demand there for volunteers to help out at any age as well.
Actually, you mentioned that at any age. So what is it 16 plus? Can they start teaching online from if they're lucky enough to go traveling at the age of 17, 18, I suppose. But is it kind of like from the age of 16 they can start teaching then as well? So the minute they finish the course, they could potentially earn from it?
Yeah, not all opportunities. So obviously, if you were in a classroom setting, you wouldn't be able to do it just yet. But online tutoring, certainly, volunteering in that capacity as well. Summer camps, would be taking younger people too. But typically, if you're looking kind of full-time employment, in a school, you
Wait
have to
until
wait
after
until you're
school.
18. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
But
anything really. Yeah.
the in-between jobs, so like you said, like the the
Mhm.
midterm, the summer holidays, that kind of thing, the main thing is there's no age restriction really past 16.
No, no. And there's no, as I said, no restrictions with qualifications. So you don't need to have some kind of master's in English or anything like that. Because you already have that English, that
Mhm.
fluency. With your TEFL cert, you're just learning how to apply that fluency you have in the classroom to provide a full immersion experience as well. So that's all you need. And as I said, the energy and the enthusiasm and the passion there to work with people, and you're all set.
Amazing. Well, I loved having a chat with you there today, Jessica. I think it's I opened up my eyes a little bit more to what TEFL is and what the opportunities are out there as well. And like we said, and you explained it perfectly there. Always happy to help out. Always happy to chat. There's online chatting, social media. Just reach out to Jessica and the team on TEFL.ie. And thanks again. I'll just put the ticker up for 2 seconds because it seems to just only last for 2
Great.
seconds.
No, that's great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
um,
It's been fantastic.
so we'll chat again and have a lovely rest of the day, and we'll catch up soon, Jessica. Thanks so much
Brilliant. Thank you.
for doing this with me today. And everybody else, pop on to TYHub.ie for more information about TEFL and a lot more in the making there. Thanks a million for watching.